The Globebusters are a team on YouTube that like to try and debunk the globe and prove flat Earth. They were once a huge institution in the flat Earth community. However, since Bob Nodell's death and more recently Jeran's defection back to Team Globe, the Globebusters are now all over the place. However, that did not stop one of their team having a pop at me over one of my YouTube shorts. You can't miss this one. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Simon Dan. Thanks very much for joining me. Okay, on with today's video then, which comes from Eru, who is a Globebuster. And he has made an hour-long response to my 30-second short. This might take a few episodes to clear this one up. Here we go.
There is this video that a friend of mine sent me, Rodrigo, where this guy, which is a very well known in the English community, trying to debunk something that is undebunkable because the Earth is flat and stationary, and that is what everybody feels and see and experience.
Calling flat Earth undebunkable is adorable. It really is.
But this guy has like a schizophrenic behavior, so he believes that he's in a ball, and because he believes he's a belief, it's not a reality. He didn't see it, he didn't go into space, he didn't have any kind of experience with the ball, but well, maybe he has wet dreams with the ball.
Okay. Straight to the personal insults then. Always a strong start when you've got no data or evidence. And belief isn't what makes Earth a globe, by the way, evidence is. We can measure curvature and track satellites and navigate the planet using systems that only work on a sphere. None of that depends on whether or not I've been to space.
But I'm gonna play it, and because the title, as you can see, is 1968 CGI ahead of this time, still waiting. So I'm gonna play the clip fully because it's a short clip. Let me know if the sounds heard well. It sounds well, and then I'm going to try to explain this Globstar, how it was made, that supposedly CGI.
Okay, Eru, if you think you can confidently explain that, then I will listen. This is day 10 of waiting for flat earthers to prove that space is fake. And today I've got a classic for you, Earthrise, taken by Apollo 8 astronauts orbiting the moon. The Earth rising above the lunar horizon, one of the most famous photos in history, I think. But what I want to know is, how is the CGI so good in 1968 to make this look real? As always, still waiting. This is day 10.
I love that face. I love that face.
Thank you, I think.
So let me know you have heard the sound this time. Okay, perfect, great. So the first thing is that he presupposed that this is CGI, and he presupposed that this is real.
How can I presuppose that this is both real and CGI? I'm not sure you understand what presuppose means, my friend.
So how Simon Dan knows that this is real if he didn't see it in any. We are not talking things that you don't need to see for determine that it's real, because it's something that you can experience or achieve here on Earth. This is a particular point of view. So there is only less than 500 people that supposedly went to space, but not to the moon. So to the moon as human being, it was only, I think, 18 people, something like that, right? So nobody knows how it looks from the moon.
The you weren't there argument. By that logic, I can't know that the Titanic sunk because I wasn't on it. Evidence doesn't vanish just because someone doesn't personally witness things. So yes, fewer than 20 humans have been to the moon, but thousands of machines have gone beyond Earth orbit since.
Unless you are a Freemason and you went to the moon in the 69, 70, 71, 72, right? All the 7 missions out there. So that is the first things. The first thing that you need to understand. The second thing is that because this is something that was presented to the human race as a picture, as a video, it doesn't mean that the only way to produce this is based on CGI and computer generated image as we will do, or as we supposedly do in our days. You can use other type of techniques to produce this. In fact, it's very, very achievable and easy to reproduce if you are using miniatures and pictures, and like a black black background, as I have here where I'm pointing with the finger. So
the Earthrise photo wasn't made with miniatures. It was shot on a Hasselblad 500EL camera using 70mm film. It was loaded by astronaut Bill Anders on Apollo 8. The original film reel is still archived in NASA, scanned in full resolution, and even shows the sequence of shots before it and after it. And the claim that it's easy to reproduce ignores the small detail that it's been replicated from lunar orbit many times since. Japan's Kagoya probe, for example, or India's Chandrayaan, and NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, all captured a similar view from a similar angle.
Why these guys are using this stupid argument? Because they are not belong to the motion graphic or visual effects community, as I do, because my profession is a visual effect artist and visual effect supervisor. So I'm going to try to explain why this wasn't CGI, of course, not just because the time where this was produced, but because you don't need to do that. In fact, the CGI that NASA uses today is completely crap. It's something that is super bad.
So he admits the photo isn't CGI, which of course is true, because the term didn't exist in 1968. Maybe you can tell that to your other flat earth friends then, Ibu. But then he says NASA's CGI today is terrible. Right, the same NASA that processes terabytes of data from the James Webb Space Telescope, lands probes on asteroids, and live streams HD footage from 400 kilometers above Earth. And apparently their graphics just aren't up to his standards. Sure, mate, sure.
I'm talking about this. This is what type of image NASA produce in nowadays based on compositing. Of course, because they have explained a lot of time that this was because you need to take data from supposedly satellites that are within our spherical Earth, and then send the information. I don't say the pictures, but they send data. That data it's converted to image, and then you start stitching those image, producing this final image, which of course sometimes has complete different sizes and proportions. And the excuse is that we use different lenses and different perspectives, so that is why all the Earth are changing.
When you're building a full Earth image from multiple satellite flybys, each taken from a different orbit or altitude or lens type, you have to stitch them together. It's called a mosaic. And the best part, he claims to work in special effects, which means he should already know how compositing images works. The irony is staggering, really.
But this is a completely crap using CGI or using computer technology. And I remember this, what Simon Dunn trying to, which is waiting. So you don't need to wait anymore, my friend, because now I am explaining to you. So that waiting room that you proposed, it's over. And I hope you address this video and explain me why it's not possible to reproduce that without computer if they have that technology.
Well, thank you for ending my waiting room, but I wasn't waiting for this explanation. I was waiting for actual evidence. I'm still waiting, actually. And yes, it is possible to reproduce an image like Earthrise without computers, with a camera. That's what Apollo 8 did. They pointed a Hasselblad camera out the window and pressed the shutter. No CGI, no compositing, just 70mm film. If your professional opinion as a visual effects artist is that it looks bad, maybe the problem isn't NASA's CGI, maybe it's your eyesight. Eru then goes on to tell us exactly how they made those images of Earth without CGI back then.
Well, the first thing, and this is very, very easy, is that we as flat earther with, or at least what I propose is that this is a real picture, is complete real picture, but not in outer space from the Apollo 17. And when I'm going to explain is based on this, okay, it's going to based on this as is the same technique. All right, so it's a real picture to a model that was painting and then put on the black background, like this.
And there we have it. It took almost 15 minutes of Eru's video, but he's finally showed his hand. So, just to recap, he's now saying that Apollo 17's famous blue marble photo is real, but it's actually a photo of a painting. Now, of course, it's not a painting. We have the original 70mm transparency, the metadata, and the mission logs describing when it was taken. December the 7th, 1972 by astronaut Harrison Schmitt. And it was on the way to the moon that they took this photo. The raw film was developed back on Earth and then archived. You can literally see the frame sequence before it and then after it. If it were a painting on a black background, every space institute on the planet, NASA, ESA, JAXA, Roscosmos, somehow forgot to notice for 50 years. Seems unlikely.
You can picture a picture. You can imagine that this is the setup. That is why we ask, we don't have any feature that we can use as a guide to say, okay, the only way that this picture was taken is in space because look the stars, look the planet, I don't know, look the sun in the background or whatever. It's just a black background. It's this black background with the Earth and nothing more than that, and super lit, in terms of the illumination of this spherical ball. It's a perfect illumination without any change in colors, not the sunrise or nothing. It's a completely perfect lit sphere. So
okay, I think this is going to be pretty easy to debunk. Let's have a look through magazine NN, which is the location of the blue marble photo from that mission. Did they paint and photograph every single one of these images, Eru? What about all the other magazines? What about the 8,400 photos in total from Apollo 17? Did they paint and photograph all of those? How about you answer that one for me and I'll get back in my waiting room. Well, there we go, everyone. What do we think of that one? I'm going to wrap this one up. Please do let me know in the comments what you thought of Eru's argument in that video there. As I say, we're all done and dusted for another one. Thanks so much for watching today. It's very much appreciated. If you enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the thumbs up button too. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great day and I'll see you tomorrow for another Saturday session. See you then.